that is happening, does it strengthen Palestine's position at all when we talk about the United Nations on a global platform like the UN? Does it strengthen its position considering the fact that it still remains an observer state?
No, it's not an observer state, it's a non-member state. So, it hasn't got that full membership, but
Okay.
it has been upgraded from observer to non-member state. It was earlier non-member observer state, and now it's a non-member
Okay.
state, like the Holy See and others, which is the maximum position you can get without being a full member. Now, I think that it is a big political boost for the state of Palestine, and one must recognize that. But as far as the war in the Gaza, the Hamas-Israel war is concerned, I think that has to have negotiations to bring to an end. And this need to bring the two together, to bring Israel and Palestine together on a platform, has to be through negotiations. I think here, one more issue we have to recognize is that the question of Hamas as a terrorist organization. I think this is one aspect which has to be dealt with. And of course, we do know that Hamas, even though it is banned by many countries, it is a terrorist, recognized as a terrorist organization. But still, we do know that it has support of many other countries, and whether it's Qatar, Iran, so many other countries are supporting it. Unless this question of Hamas as a terrorist organization is resolved, I do not think we are going to get very much forward on the question of solving or bringing to a peaceful end or bringing even to negotiations the question of the Hamas-Israel war. And I think we have to look at this issue of terrorism very strongly in order to make sure that we can bring this question to an end so that Palestine can really take its full position in the Committee of Nations as a full member of the United Nations.
Can I also understand from you, Ambassador Sikri, you mentioned the two-state solution. How does it move forward now that Palestine is on board at the United Nations? Would it sort of fast forward the process, if at all, the other side and both the sides agree to it, which hasn't happened and probably will not in the near future? But does this help it at all?
Well, it takes it one step forward. So definitely it's a help because the UNGA has unanimously, with two-thirds majority, actually 75% majority, has really voted to bring the question of the state of Palestine one step forward, the maximum you can get without the Security Council recommendation being accepted. So I think in that sense, it's a big boost for Palestine. But as I said, to end the Hamas-Israel war, Israel has strongly opposed the present elevation of Palestine to the state of to position of non-member state. Israel has opposed it. But now to get to the next stage, to get Israel to accept, there have to be negotiations between Israel and Hamas. We also know that China and others have made an initiative to bring Hamas and PLO and all the organizations on one footing. So there will be a unified position of these countries in their negotiations with Israel. That has also happened. But still, I think the question of Hamas as a terrorist organization remains central to the solution of the Hamas-Israel conflict. And if Hamas were to, with the pressure of the world community, were to give up its, terrorist activities, were to accept that it would be a peaceful organization, I think you'd get very far indeed. But whether that will happen is really a moot point. It seems very, very unlikely to happen in the near future. But I think certainly in the interest of the people of Palestine, because they're suffering so much. I mean, look at the amount of death and destruction and the amount of, sheer human loss of life and destruction of economic assets of people. I mean, it's really terrible to see that happening day after day. So the whole world is very keen that they do get some state of negotiations and we can move forward on the question of ending the Hamas-Israel conflict. I think, once again, this is one of those issues that perhaps is waiting for the American elections to be completed and the results to be known in the month of November. And then we hope that there will be progress on this as well, on the resolution of the Ukraine war issues.